Yeah, damn. And it's been quite the minute. I mean, we don't have what 2 holidays done passed. It's a whole new year. I mean, sheesh.
Is it a new year? It still feel like COVID-19 in here. I don't know if that's a new year or not.
I know, right? Damn,
My
it's
my
a
whole
crazy time.
family my whole family essentially has been kind of sick. So I've been like kind of quarantining inside of my room, inside of the house.
Oh, just trying to say like healthy, not like COVID or nothing like that, but you just want
No,
to get
no,
sick.
no. They got
Uh,
it's for some reason everybody I know, bro. Everybody I know got like the sniffles or got like a little cough when it started raining them 2 3 days. When
yeah, something about the weather
when
change.
that
Yeah.
season change hit super late, I feel like the whole city was like, "Oh nah, nah."
COVID was sitting there like, yeah, y'all ain't been ready for this. But,
But that's
but I
why
feel you, man.
I honestly believe like if you've been home and if you've been staying social distance, as soon as you feel like you got a cough or something, do not go to the hospital and get tested right away. Stay in your space because obviously that's where people who think they have COVID or are sick go. Why would I go to you know what I'm saying? Like to the source. Sit there and fight it out, and if it don't get better, then go. Like that's just how that's just how I would see it. Like if you think you're actually sick, give it a few days to yourself, to see if it's like a light cough or whatever. Because they don't make sense to me thinking you're sick and then going to the hospital where there's actually people who are sick. Like that don't make no sense to me.
Yeah, I had my own little scare last week and all that. I think I know where I messed up because I went up. I took a shower before I went out to hang out with some people, but I didn't dry my head off all the way. And then we ended up standing outside, like it was brick out there, fam. So I remember. So I think I just made myself sick that day, but I woke up the next day, half my face was numb from all the congestion I had up in there, bro. I was like, this is it. I'm gonna die. This is it. This is it. COVID.
This is it.
But,
it's
oh,
actually it's actually kind of funny you say that, and it's not funny that you say that because obviously you're my boy, but there was a few. Should we just wait to start the pod, or what do we?
Yeah,
Should
yeah.
we
Let me introduce this thing, man. What's up, Piglets? It's your boy Taylor B, and I'm joined by my boys Daniel and Joey. Welcome to another installment of Culture by the Uncultured. I know it's been a long time, but before we go any further, be sure to click that follow or subscribe button. And remember, Culture by the Uncultured is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Culture by the Uncultured. One word. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's continue with the show then. Real quick too, happy holidays, everybody. Happy New Year, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. Happy holidays in general. I know it's been a minute. I'm kind of, I'm pretty excited to be here with you guys. I don't even really care about like a docket or structure. It's just been a while since I feel like we got a chance to talk. And I know the holidays have passed. I know we probably have some stories, some stuff we might like to share. I guess real quick, if we could share something real quick or whatever, I decided to kind of upgrade myself a little bit, and I bought myself a Razer keyboard and a Logitech mouse, this advanced play mouse, and they're fire as fuck. They change different colors or whatever, which isn't really the important part. They're just like everything feels great in my hands.
whoa.
Like it feels like
Ooh.
like the first time you open like a console and like you touch the controller for the first time. That's what it feels like. All the buttons are smooth, and the mouse is just like I don't even ever want to touchpad again, bro.
Dang.
Like
So it really
that's
brings to life. It really brings to life your Mia Khalifa section or what?
wow.
No, I know what he's talking about. It's like when you've been dating that one girl for a few years and she's pissing you off because you've been faithful and it's just not working out, and you finally get to that first touch of some new booty, you just like, whoo! Oh, thank God that's over. It's a,
Bro.
you have a fresh pair of panties on. Like,
Oh my god. Low key facts though.
hey,
Low
but
key
for real though,
facts. But
happy flu year. You know what I'm saying?
but yeah, I mean, how was the holiday for you guys? You guys visited friends and family. Like I saw I saw all my family pretty much, and we had a gift exchange like on the on Christmas Eve and whatnot. It was me, my mom, my son, my sister, my brother, his wife, and one of my mom's friends, and so that was good. And then we got together the next day again at my sister's place, and then like she had like a couple extra gifts for us too, and then we had like a dinner there and stuff. It was pretty cool.
I spent the whole day. I had a mission for myself, right? I was gonna go the whole day without saying Merry Christmas to anybody. Like I wasn't gonna do it, fam. Um, but then I ended up getting broken down because I went to go see my sister and all them, and my niece and them had a COVID scare too, so we didn't even get to see their kids or nothing like that. We just had to drop off the presents and then take off. Like we were some bandits or something like that. Like, here you go, we out.
Just like
how
Santa be doing, like, who go through your chimney just to drop off something nice and bounce? Like, all right, I'm out, bro.
So we couldn't see them and all that, and then I actually made it almost the whole day. But me and my sister, we all went out to a family friend's house later that night. And then my nephew, out of nowhere, was just like, he went to go say goodbye to me. It was the end of the night. He was just like, "I love you." I was like, "Oh my god." Oh.
It's a trap.
It was a trap. It broke me out. I was like, "You know what? I love you too, man. Merry Christmas."
And Daniel's heart grew 3 sizes that
day. Man, oh, that's hilarious. I did watch The Grinch a few times over the season. That's one of the guilty pleasures of mine of the holiday season, because I do get frustrated in the holidays because somebody who kind of grew up in the church and has like a high morale, I would say, for just day-to-day, conversation and like companionship. I know that the holidays, especially in America, has kind of filtered down to what you buy for me this year. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like
big fact.
I lose interest in all the festivities of the holidays because I just feel like, hey man, the people you care about, you do stuff for a year long. You know what I'm saying?
Can I interject really quick? Because you talking about kind of like the gift giving holiday reminds me of a story from a couple of years ago that I'd like to share with the world real quick. This is all alleged, none of this can be proven.
Let me go into a story that may or may not be true.
But allegedly, it might have been like, it was before I left in the military, so I think it was like 2012, maybe 2011. I was when I was hanging out with Johnny still, and it was me, him, and his little sister, and we went to the Walmart in Chula, right? Allegedly, keep that in mind. So we were just kind of like looking at stuff, and it's Christmas time, so we're kind of doing a little bit of Christmas shopping or whatever. I think we were there mainly for his little sister to get something for like their parents or something like that. And we see this random black dude who's kind of like in the electronics section, because that's like more me and Johnny were hanging out, just looking at stuff. And like this is years ago, so like this is like Xbox 360 era and stuff like that. So this is quite some time ago. He's like looking kind of lost, and it looks a little shady, and I was just like, and to my colored folks that watch this, please don't take no offense to that. He legitimately looked shady. It wasn't allegedly that he was like, oh, he's black, let me beware of him, It was like, nah, like homie looked like he was a little weird, like what you on, man? What's popping? So then, out of nowhere, he like asked me and Johnny a question about memory cards or memory sticks or whatever, and he's like, yo, is this memory stick enough to like this work on it, like whatever,
yeah.
And he's like does it matter the price and stuff like that? And I'm like why's he asking that? And I was like, it wouldn't matter the price as long as it works for whatever device you want or whatever. And Johnny's like, nah bro, like just grab this one right here, it's like $20 cheaper than the one you're looking at, just grab this one. He's like, oh, bet, man. And he's like, yo, y'all know anything about cameras, man? Like I'm trying to get a camera or whatever. And I was like, allegedly. I was like, what do you mean, do we know something about cameras? Like, nigga, just buy one, like, and he like, hey, can I talk to y'all for a second? And I was like, I'm already like on high alert. I'm like, man, this dude looks sketch. All right, let's see what he has to say. There's 2 of us, so we'll be fine, I'm sure. And we're in the middle of Walmart, so I don't think anything's gonna happen. But let's see what he has to say or whatever. So he takes us to this random aisle, and he's like, yo, can y'all help me do something real quick? And he like opens up this backpack, and it's like full of $100 bills. And I was like, what the fuck? And Johnny's like, he's as soon as he sees money, he's keyed in, like, okay, what you need? And he's like, all right, man, I need y'all help to get a camera so I can make this video to destroy America. And I was like, Once he said that, I was done. I was like, all right, we're ready to go. Where's your little sister at?
Right.
I think we can head out
Especially
now.
since like your favorite, I can't remember what part of it, but like your favorite superhero is like Captain America. So it's like how it would be doing my country a disservice if I were to help you out right now.
Exactly. And so then like Johnny's like, yeah, we're down, we can help you, whatever. And I'm looking at him like, what? And he gives us a couple hundreds or whatever, and he's like, yo, like he just wants a camera that can go underwater. He don't know nothing about nothing or whatever. He's probably a tweaker or some shit. Like, just fucking get him this camera, and then he's gonna give this. He told us he was gonna give us like whatever money we had left over, or whatever, right? So Johnny buys like this like cheap little $200 camera, allegedly. And it goes underwater and all that stuff, and he shows him like where it says it, like on the thing or whatever. And I think I want to say he gave us like $600-700. I'm not even sure, whatever, right? So yeah, and Johnny spent maybe like $200 on this camera, right? Gives him the camera, he's like talking to us, and he's talking about, and this is why I brought it, like it triggered my memories, because he starts talking to us about America, and like he wants to go to Mexico, and he's gonna make this video, and he needs to go underwater to make this video, and it's gonna help like to destroy America or whatever. And I was like, what the fuck? And then he's like talking about Christmas and how it's just a gift giving holiday. It has no real meaning. Like it lost its purpose a long time ago or whatever, and all this and that. And Johnny's like, and then like, then we dip or whatever, and then like, allegedly we go to a smoke shop. Johnny tries to purchase something with the $100 bills. And then this dude tried to snatch him up, and then we just took off because the money was fake.
What?
But yeah, that's
crazy. Time out. Y'all bought a camera with fake $100.
Allegedly.
Here's the thing. Though. It's crazy that you were in a superstore like a Walmart, such and such, allegedly, and that they did not catch that, but they went to a smoke shop, and that motherfucker.
I said the same thing. I was
You're
like,
much
dang,
more lucky that it didn't happen at a Walmart.
For real, I was because the person took the money, and I assume maybe it's because Johnny's a white kid, so they probably was like, oh, this is real, whatever, But then like we went to the smoke shop, it was like Chaldeans or whatever, and they don't play about their money, like they about their shit. So like they checked it off to make sure, but the dude at the counter and the Walmart was just like, okay, hundreds, here you go, here's the camera, and that was it. But shit,
big facts. A Chaldean at a store, they know because they sisters, aunties, and moms be them gypsies that be stealing in the parking lot, so they know real value. You know what I'm saying? They're not about to take your. Hey, fake money is kind of hilarious though. I got a quick story off of that one, real quick. In high school, I was friends with a lot of the ASB and like the class president and stuff. So I was kind of close to what they called the Shield, which is like, they sell food for the school at lunchtime and this and that, and they set up the events. So I was in there with a lot of them. So, I kind of got backstage to a lot of cool little events and this and that. So one day I'm working the Shield because there was some cute girls and some homies I knew in there, and they're like, oh, we're low staff. Can you help today? I was like, oh, for sure. So I'm in there, and this girl is like taking hella fives from this kid, right? I'm like, damn, he paid for like $50 worth of fives. Like, let me see these, right? Tell me why instead, on the $5 bill, it's Lincoln, right? Is it Lincoln?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me why the face on this $5 bill was Bill Murray. I shit you not, it was Bill Murray. I literally, bro, I was dying. This was a scandal at Chula Vista High School for like 3 months. They kept finding these fake $5 bills with Bill Murray's face on them. It was so funny. It was so funny. And they just, we kept calling it a $5 bill, $5 Bill Murray. It was so funny. Oh man. But that's I totally man. But yeah, going back to what you the story that you allegedly went through. I remember you telling me that shit, and I was like, bro, that's intense. Like he was definitely on what Stephen A say? The crack. He was definitely, that guy was definitely smoking rock, bro.
Man, for real.
But he was crazier than Lamar Odom, who was on crack.
Yo, Stephen A is hilarious because when he gets home, he's super ghetto, but then when he come on TV and shit, he gotta pretend like he not about it. You know what I'm saying? But damn, yeah, I totally remember that now. That's hilarious. But that puts emphasis on what I said, man. Like our society really is like that. I mean, it's to the point where why do the most sales, for purchases happen at this time of year? Like, obviously it's like, well, I didn't want to buy nothing like that, but now you guys are telling me I'm saving money, so here I come in this fucking line.
And it's like the biggest scam to like tax time too. It's like right before you get your taxes, you spend hella money on like friends and family. So it's like in all honesty, you pretty much like break even. So it's like you're not even getting anything because you just stimulated the economy with all the money you just put out there for the holiday season, and now you're getting money back. So it's like you didn't really spend anything, but you ain't make anything either. You're pretty much back at square one, So it's an interesting, like, when you kind of put other pieces together, like the taxing. When I first heard about that, I was like, damn, that's actually, that makes a lot of sense. Damn, like you're kind of just getting the money back you just spent, in the economy or whatever. But speaking of the economy, how about them stimmies, boy? The Sehana?
Bro, the fact that America is so fast and we give shit nicknames. Like, it was coronavirus for 12 hours, then it was the Rona. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, we're so fast to just like give everything a pet name because we know we can't just get rid of it. You know what I'm saying?
It's better to laugh at it. It's better
Around
to laugh
here,
at it, man.
between Normandy and Western, we call this here a little stemmy stem.
Well,
You seen that? You seen that meme? That was hilarious. Oh my. Yeah, man. I mean, I guess that 600 is better than nothing, and that's just kind of like the energy you have to go about it. Because we were talking about this for weeks when we were saying, well, pretty much we're in our 10th month of COVID lockdowns, and we have been stimulated through a package. No homo. We have been stimulated through a package once in 9 months, and that was a $1,200 payment. And now they just chipped us off 600, which is half last time, for more than twice as long as we've gone through it. So that don't make no sense. But the Senate passes this bill to send millions of dollars to other nations for things that have nothing to do with COVID. And they say, oh, because we're sending billions to these other nations for stupid shit that don't got nothing to do with COVID, we can only afford to give y'all 600. You could have at least matched the 1,200 you did last time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to sound any
This
kind of way
super
because
wild.
we're blessed. Us here on the show, we kind of still have our jobs. Like we've gone through. We still have our incomes and stuff. So
He says,
no, I'm just saying.
Which by the way, but that brings up another great point. Congratulations, Daniel. Let's clap it up for Daniel real quick. Can we get do I have drums? No, I don't got drums. I ain't got nothing else here, but I'm gonna just clap it up for you right here. Congratulations to my man, Daniel. He got himself a new job, an upgrade, a serious upgrade. I just want to shout out to him. Hard work and perseverance. He the one that put me on to the job I got now. So I thank you and congratulations to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Black excellence. Hip hop hooray.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Daniel the type to just make a point. He'll go into a building and be like, it's too white up in here. He'll go right back to his car and put on a do-rag.
I mean, I am the guy that went to go see Red Tails and yelled out, yeah, black people in the middle of the theater. That was me.
Daniel once, this is hilarious. This is back in the day. I don't know if you guys remember. I used to have this little handheld bullhorn, and we used to walk from my house to Chula Vista High School, which is, I don't know, maybe a mile or two, mile and a half. And we were walking down Broadway, and there's this mariscos, Mexican seafood restaurant called what is it? Something del Negro, like Durazno Negro or something. This guy,
yeah, it's like Durazno Negro or something. Yeah,
walks into that restaurant with my little loudspeaker bullhorn, and he's like, I have a problem with this establishment. He's like yelling it to, bro. I'm telling you, this place is like 50. It's like 50 people plus at the time. I have a problem with this establishment. Has the word Negro on the front of the sign. Bro, I'll never forget that shit. So, allegedly.
Dang, I forgot about that even happening until you got into the store. I was like, oh
It's so funny because a lot of times we hit topics where Daniel's actually well thought out. So a lot of times he'll say something where somebody is who is super, if I may, somebody who is super blackety black might be like, "My brother, what is you talking about?" But they ain't never been there in the times where Daniel was like, the Malcolm X of the group. You know what I'm saying? Like they ain't never. That's why I let Daniel say what he want, because when it really come down to it, if the Zulu Nation had one representative, we're looking at it. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. Here, here. I second that.
Yeah. His favorite line from Harry Potter was that one kid, "Black could be anywhere."
Which was his only line in the entire movie.
Only
I'm just
line.
saying.
He's like the only black kid at Hogwarts, and that's his line. Hilarious. Hilarious.
But yeah, thank you, thank you. It's gonna be a happy new year, definitely for me. I got a great idea of what of the plan that I got going forward. This is one big goal that I had. I have one more huge goal to take care of in my life, and this job is actually going to be the catalyst for that. So,
Blessings.
I'm feeling real blessed, and let's not forget Brandon.
2020, 2021 starting off with blessings, baby.
Let's
Let's
not forget.
go.
Let's not forget. Brandon went in there and was just like, "Nah, y'all white people, give me my money and give it to me now." So he got.
Ooh, Lord.
I'm not the only one that got a blessing here. Brandon got a blessing
Man.
too. So congratulations that the plan worked out. That you went in
Thank
there
you,
and put your
thank
foot
you.
down, and it was like, fine, go ahead. Go ahead and do that, sir.
I mean, shoot, it was definitely it ended up being a really long conversation, but I mean, they went for everything that I talked about on the project in Arizona, and fingers crossed, I'll be heading that direction soon. I'm definitely excited for the opportunity I have, and just I'm excited for 2020 or 2021 to bring more blessings
For
than
people that
last year
don't know,
did.
he owns a black couch and he sells it to people to use it for um, for the backstage couch videos that you see online. Anyway,
Ah,
um,
Wow.
ah.
Wow. That's not
Damn,
not
Brandon,
I,
like
not
you
I.
in
No,
there,
no,
bro.
no say, no,
Famous.
no
Casting couch.
say, no
That's
say.
huge. That's big numbers. Wow.
Keep in mind though, that's funny you say that, but I definitely had an idea for a new brand. I'm not gonna reveal what it's called, but it's based around like heftier gamers, and it low key is inspired by LeVar Ball's brand. So I'm gonna shoot y'all one to y'all later on the low, so that nobody take my idea from me. But we might got some things popping off soon.
Did you just
You'll never
did you
know.
just put your creative
Messing with us.
your creative mind in the same space as LeVar Ball? Like, okay, next question. Next question. Big news.
Anyway, though, how about the New Year, guys? Did y'all celebrate the New Year? What'd you guys do?
what'd you say again?
That broke up a little bit. What'd you say now?
I said, what'd you guys do for New Year's? Would you guys hang out with the family or anything? You guys,
I had big plans for New Year's, bro. Huge plans. The problem is I fell asleep before they came to fruition.
that beat a ticket right there, man.
I kid you
Daniel
not.
talking about big plans, but he fell asleep.
I kid you not. I was gonna go see some people. I was gonna go hang out, and I said, okay, let me go ahead and lay chill out and lay out on the bed real quick. I woke up to some gunshots, and I was like, what the hell is? I was like, oh damn, it's midnight
Hey, bro.
already.
None say Happy New Year's like some bang bang. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. Man, I stayed home for the most part. Like I said, my whole family's been kind of in and out of health, nothing COVID related, but just like the sinus time of year. That we had a big weather switch up, so it started raining for a second, so everybody's temperature went from about 70 to 50 in like 3 days, so everybody kind of got the sniffles. So on New Year's everybody was kind of going through it, so my whole family was home, but I stepped outside to link up with one friend I had been throughout this whole quarantine, and we smoked the ritual New Year's blunt. So that was about it. Nothing serious.
For sure, for sure. I had V that night, and I was gonna go hang out, but then I was like, nah, I'm just gonna take him and myself home. And then I pretty much did the same thing Daniel did. I didn't have any plans to go anywhere when I fell asleep. When I fell asleep, though, I woke up to fireworks and like super close to my house. Like I probably could have gone outside and fought the person that was lighting them off, but I was like, I don't know how this didn't happen because this woke me up. But V was out like a light. He moved a little bit for a couple of them, but I was like, he gonna wake up and start crying. I'm gonna be mad as hell.
Yeah.
He never woke up. He was
There
trooper,
was
man. He could.
there was a fire. You're off kind of by Home Avenue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was actually not far from the area, and there was a lot of fireworks right there. There was a lot of
ton,
fireworks, firecrackers, little Roman candles or whatever. But you know that area is kind of infested with a lot of illegal Mexicans. So you know they was going to cross over the border with the good stuff.
Man, they was playing all kinds of like after the fireworks kind of subsided a little bit, like you just kept hearing them like onesies and twosies every so often. And then like right next to my place, there's like somebody was having a straight out party. They was playing like
Oh yeah.
I forget what song it is, the old G in the song with Mobb Deep, that where they're like in the club or whatever. But I can't, not Disco Inferno, but I can't remember the name of the song. But it was like a big song. It's an old one though. But I was just like, damn, they really out here partying. Like it's 2021. I feel it. We made it through. We survived. We lost a lot of people, but they're having a good time. So fuck it. I'm gonna leave it alone. But guess what I did as soon as it was 12 o'clock though, because that's when I woke up. I was like 11:50 when I woke up. But guess what I did as soon as it 12 hit? You best believe your ass I got on there and binge watched all of season 3 of Cobra Kai. all of it. I got up, turned my PlayStation on, turned my TV on, started watching the episodes one by one, right? And let me tell you, I got through the whole thing except for the last episode. I started falling asleep, and I was like, look, V's still asleep. It's like 3, 4 in the morning. Let me get a couple hours in before he wake up, and I'm gonna just watch this last one in the morning or whatever.
So
but let me tell you,
you've watched it through twice already.
Not all the way through. So I'm gonna talk about it. You don't mind spoilers, right? Right, Joey? You said. I just want to make sure.
I
don't want to spoil.
It's other people that might not have seen it.
For sure. I'm gonna put a spoiler warning out there. Did you finish it yet, or Daniel, or not?
I definitely finished.
Okay, all right, for sure. So we'll get into it a little bit right here. This will be our 2021 brand new series that we just checked out or whatever. So like for me, this is my viewing experience or whatever, right? So the first like 4 or 5 episodes are kind of boring in my opinion. There was definitely like the trailer was definitely made to kind of make it seem more exciting, which is cool, and I don't mind it at all. Even the team up with like between Daniel and Johnny, that was like really quick and like really short, and I was like, dang, like that was cool, but it's like I was expecting more. I was kind of expecting that relationship to go a little bit further instead of kind of like devolving back to where it kept devolving to. And then of course at the end we get the big, the big surprise. We're not really a surprise, but we get the big reveal or whatever. So that was cool. But yeah. So that was cool. Another thing too, but when the action did kick off, though, I'll best believe it was super good. I did not think that it was going to be as ruthless as it was. I low key thought because of the flashbacks we started getting from Kreese in the second half of the season, I thought somebody was going to die. He kept talking about no mercy, of course. That's like Cobra Kai's big thing, no mercy and all that. And then but there was like things that he was like living through in his flashbacks, and I was like, he's going to have to kill somebody, or somebody's going to like kill him, or like one of the kids going to kill each other, because like they're gonna stop another kid from killing another kid or something. Like that's what I was like going through in my whole mind, like watching it the entire time and all the fights. I think everybody had like a pretty good story arc. I was super upset they cut Aisha. That was some bullshit. Like she was the only black chick in the show. They cut her. They said supposedly like they don't really have a storyline first, so they just said her and her family sold everything and moved away because of the karate fight at the school or whatever. One thing that bothered me a lot too, from the female characters, Sam and Tori, I liked them both. Like in season 2, they were both dope or whatever. I have very mixed feelings about the whole Sam and Miguel thing, and I do feel like some of it is influenced by what Daniel said to her, because he was like, I feel like it was Kyler, then Miguel, then Robbie, and now back to Miguel, and I was like, it kind of does, yeah. I mean, all like in the span of a year or two, but But I don't understand why Sam was so like hesitant. You know, like you already won a fight. Why are you scared? Especially when you know this bitch fought dirty. Like, why are you so scared of her? And then on the reverse side, Tori, like they just tried to make her the crazy bitch, but she doesn't really have a reason to be like crazy for Miguel at least. And then like I know she has like her own home problems and stuff like that, but it's kind of like I don't know. Like, they kind of paint them in like weird ways, and I feel like their characters should not have went, in my opinion. But I mean, like they're both still pretty badass, like at fighting and stuff, which is super cool. Freaking Hawk. I mean, I, Daniel, would you trust Hawk? I sure as hell wouldn't trust him.
I couldn't. I wouldn't trust him as far as I can throw him, bro. But first of all, this whole entire series left me with a couple of questions. Okay, first of all, who keep giving these high school kids alcohol? I need to figure out how the hell they keep getting kegs and beer every time I see them on the screen. They are high school kids, first of all. Okay,
I know the answer to that, but no comment. Continue.
Second of all, why do I only see 2 sets of parents at all times? There's 13 kids running around here, kicking everybody's ass, showing up, busting through everybody's windows, and I'm only seeing 2 sets of parents.
Bruh.
Where is everybody else?
The police ain't been involved. Like, man.
For real. And then like,
these are real things where it's like a TV show could really lock in on the realistic nature of what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's missing some real like. How come ain't nobody called the police yet? You know what I'm saying? Like, how come ain't nobody?
It's kind of interesting because I mean, obviously they try to set it up for like opportune times for these things to happen. Like the kids aren't being, handled personally by the adults. But it's like Daniel said, like you only see 2 sets of parents throughout like the entire show for the most part. Knowing damn well that or I guess 3 in total, because I mean if you count Miguel's mom too, but it's like Miguel's mom's a nurse. Daniel and his wife they own a car company, like they own like a car sales thing, or whatever. And then they're busy with that all the time. They're rich, so they're definitely super busy. And then freaking William Zabraka's character, I think that's his last name, Johnny. He's kind of like he's the sensei, so like he watches the kids, but he's also trying to like handle his own personal life and deal with his own things, like trying to work on Miguel and trying to work on Robbie and his relationship, and dealing with his own personal demons, which is like pretty much what the show is mainly about. So it's kind of like there's not really time besides like another kid's parents. Fuck yeah, they should be definitely stepping in. Like, yo, my kid keeps getting his ass beat hanging out with y'all. He's not hanging out with y'all no more. Like that would be it. But I mean, because most parents, like I know my mom would have looked at me if I was like, this was happening to me all the time. I'm getting in fights with the same group of kids all the time. We got each other's backs and all this stuff. She'd be like, y'all are gangbangers. Get the fuck away from them. You are not going to hang out with them no more. You are staying in your damn room. Finish your homework. Go to school. Who you hanging out with? Like, that's exactly how my mom would have been for sure. Like, there's no way this would have flew in like real life. At least not for me.
Yeah, definitely not. Them breaking into that place they broke into. I'm trying to say as much as I can without spoiling it. Them breaking into that place, doing what they did. First of all, how did he get that thing into the bag? That's all I'm gonna know. Okay, that thing is poisonous. How'd you get that thing in there with your bare hands? First of all, and then the only thing I was really pissed off about was I feel like he woke up too soon. Spoiler alert. But
most people see that in the trailer, so you don't got to worry about that for sure.
Okay,
but
I was expecting that to take at least 6 episodes and have something dramatic happen, and he came in right when he came in. I was like, nah, that was way too soon. There's no lead up to it. There was no suspense to it and nothing like that. They really ruined that moment. They could have been fighting in the hospital or something like that, and he came up and it was just like, I'm gonna stop this punch.
Oh my god! He out here trying to have a whole anime for Cobra Kai, bro. No, for me, I was definitely worried about Miguel kind of being sidelined through like the whole season, and like, obviously he wasn't comatose for the whole season, but like for like half the season, he's pretty much sidelined, and he's trying to get back to 100% through the rest of the series or through the rest of the season. And and with a lot of it just kind of leaves me questions. I mean, like I have a bunch that I wrote down right here that I can read out to you guys. I already gave a spoiler warning, so I'll give you another one real quick before I ask these questions. Couple questions are: will Daniel let someone read the crane technique scroll that he picked up from Chosen? Will Daniel train anyone on the pressure points technique, because that shit seems hella useful? Do you think Daniel can heal now like Mr. Miyagi, because I assume that has something to do with pressure points? And if that's the case, then maybe he's kind of like he is Mr. Miyagi in a sense now, you know, if that was the case.
Whoa.
I mean, not like legendary stature, but like in terms of training, like we see in the first season, he tries to like help Robbie or whatever, like because Robbie's like shoulders messed up or whatever, and he like rubs his hands together like if he was Mr. Miyagi, and then he goes nurse, and it was just like, oh, like I thought you were gonna do the thing.
I remember
trainer.
that. I actually really appreciated that though. I don't know how I feel about that actually working for LaRusso because that kind of there's always going to be that separation of Daniel LaRusso became a great fighter and he's disciplined and this and that, but to me there was always that fine line, that glass ceiling, if you will, between him and Miyagi because Miyagi's like the Yoda of karate. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the interesting thing about this season. That's the interesting thing about this season is that like we find out that Mr. Miyagi did not teach Daniel everything that he knew. So that's where I'm just like, oh, like I wonder if he'll like kind of go a little bit further.
48 laws,
you know,
48 laws of power, right there.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't think we ever got his name, but I don't know if you remember Daniel, the black dude that Robbie fought in the prison. I was thinking, I wonder if we'll see him as a future character because they had like a moment where they both kind of like talk about not snitching, and then like they kind of share a little moment or whatever after their big fight. And that dude, like, keep in mind, Robbie's a trained karate fighter, and the black dude was just like a thug with two dudes that he had, and he was going toe to toe with Robbie. So imagine that kid gets actual training. Like, I'm sure he would be somewhat of a threat. And if Robbie, I mean, they're in juvie, so I'm sure he's not in life in prison. So he might get out in a month or two or something, and maybe they run into each other because Robbie's a street kid. He's going to be running the streets still, I'm sure, when he's not training at Cobra Kai.
Yeah, I can definitely see that being set up. And I mean, they took away one black character; they got to give you another one. Of course, he was in juvie for some reason. But, all right, we'll take it. All that, but I can definitely see that. But I what I didn't like, I don't like how they had three different, three different dojos. Like, this is kind of stupid right now.
The Eagle Fang Karate was the worst name ever, bro.
Eagles don't have fangs. I was like, oh my god, that's correct.
Oh my god.
But I'm actually excited to see the tournament now because you already know if having Daniel fight his dad like that the way he did and all that. Once I saw that happening, I was like, oh, this next season is about to be fire because he's just gonna be all evil from now on. He like that was his Anakin moment.
You heard like the little you heard like when Johnny started fighting Robbie, like it had like the Star Wars-esque music play in the background.
I did it.
Oh, man, if you like watch that scene again, like when he starts fighting him, it has like it almost sounds like Duel of the Fates or something. Like it's like has like that same vibe. And I was like, this is like total dark side energy right here, like serious dark side energy right here. This is crazy. that shit was fire though.
Yeah, then Kreese got up and was like, no.
Bro, for real though, damn. That's so crazy.
So yeah, I was really happy to see all the extra people that they put in that they brought back from the movies series. I totally forgot about old girl in Japan. He was sitting there talking about his wife and Allie this whole time. I totally forgot he had that love crush over there in Japan, fam. I was really glad to see that. I'm really glad that he got to run into her again and run into I forget what his name is, but the other dude that
Chosen.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
So I was really enjoying seeing all that because I like I said, I totally forgot about some of those people, and I was like, oh yeah, they do. Now if they can just get it, Jaden's never mind. Anyway, that's a different thing.
Now the cameos would be fine. I was already talking to Josh about that actually. I was saying, dang, it would be super fire if like not even just like for them to be in the whole season or something or have a bunch of scenes, but like a quick cameo from Jaden Smith. Or even like Jackie Chan, or a cameo from I forget the woman's name, but the woman from the next Karate Kid. Either of those would be super fire too. And I mean, we get tons of callbacks from the films already. Obviously already we already have callbacks from the first three films. And at the end of the movie, it looks like Kreese called what is his name, Tony Silver or something like that. So we're probably gonna get him again. To come back again when he was in the Karate Kid 3. So I'm definitely excited, like you said, for the tournament. I can't wait to see what actually happens. I don't think that Robbie is going to be enough. That's why I'm super concerned with like how the teams are going to be separated. Because I mean, Miyagi Kai or Cobra Do, whatever you want to call it. They have Miguel, they have Sam, they have Hawk, they have Eli, you know, and then like they have like all like their, you know, like their named characters that aren't like the toughest guys, but like, you know, like they got some prowess in martial arts or whatever.
But they train
And
with
then,
the
like,
rest of them, so you know they ain't no slouches.
Yeah, and then like Cobra Kai, all they really have is Robbie and Tori right now, and it's like everybody else is, or and Kyler, I guess. But I mean, this is another question I was going to ask too. On a scale of 1 to 100%, how strong do you think Miguel was at the end of the season when he beat up Kyler?
How strong Miguel was?
Yeah, but percentage wise, do you think he was like? I don't think he was at 100%. I said like 80.
I couldn't give it. I'll answer it this way. I'm not going to give it a numbers thing. I'm just going to give it a visual up compared to somebody else. He was pretty much Gohan at the tournament when he turned Super Saiyan 2 in front of Khabib, in front of that Kai, and everybody was just like, "Oh yeah, that's cool, but you ain't nearly as strong as you used to be." Type of
So Brandon, if you could translate that into percent, what are we talking?
He's probably like around somewhere between like 70 to like 85, maybe somewhere around there. Not he's healed, but he's not quite 100% yet. Like there was a point in the show where like it was a cool little callback. Like he tries to throw a kick while they're training, and then like it was like on a frisbee, and it was like the babiest kick you ever saw in your life. And he had already been working on his legs, like and like moving and stuff like that. So like he's been on his feet for a while. He can stand up good and everything. He tries to throw that kick, and it's like it's a baby little tap or whatever. And then in the big fight that happens at the end, he throws a kick at Kyler that Kyler easily blocks, and he goes, "You call it a kick?" And I was like, "Oh, this is not going to go well at all." But then like they have like a moment, and then like Miguel's like, "Nah, fuck it, I'm about to turn up right now," and you know like he goes in. But so that was
he had that inner Saiyan moment they always have. That's what I'm saying. They sit there, they're getting ready to get destroyed, and they have that. They think about their family and their people they love, and all of a sudden they get power out of nowhere. I'm telling you, that's exactly what happened.
It's funny. It's funny to see the power of friendship work in like a live action show, and like not like a manga or shonen or something like that, because like legitimately he was getting the dog shit beat out of him. There was blood coming from his mouth. Kyler had him pinned against the wall with one arm, looked like he was doing it from the back, and was just delivering straight kidney shot, kidney shot, kidney shot, kidney shot. And then I was like, he about to kill this kid. Like, there's blood coming from your mouth. That is not good, bro. That's usually death flags already. And then he kind of looks around the room and sees all his boys, like, you know, Hawk's back. You know, he sees everybody else fighting hard and stuff, and he's like, nah, fuck that. You know, I'm about to go in. And, you know, he gets the win over Kyler. But that shit was crazy as hell. Real quick, I want to go back to this Hawks thing about trusting him. So,
Bruh.
I'm going to ask Joey, since he hasn't actually seen it yet. I'm going to ask Joey. What?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So, obviously, in the first season, we see that I forget his name, but Hawk is like a super quiet kid. He has like a facial deformity, and he's really insecure about it, and Kyler picks on that or whatever, right? Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And then Johnny's able to give him some confidence he calls him Lip. And then Hawk, because like he gets a big mohawk and changes up his style, and that's what he becomes. He becomes Hawk. Yeah. He's like the second best guy at Cobra Kai. I mean, he pretty much went toe to toe with Robbie, and then the only reason why he ended up losing was because he got disqualified for pushing him after like the match or whatever. I think he like turned his shoulder and then
he's running off of pure aggression and you know stuff.
Yeah.
So he don't really have the discipline yet.
Like a Sith.
Exactly. Yeah, like he's y'all used to fuck with me, I'm gonna fuck with y'all now. You know, like he got that heat, you know? Yeah. So then season 2, obviously, we see kind of like Eli tries to join Cobra Kai. He tries to talk to Hawk about it. Hawk's calling him a pussy for getting beat up by Kreese or whatever. Just come back and he's like, nah. He joins Miyagi Do, and then, you know, Hawk doesn't really like that. He doesn't like the review. He likes for Cobra Kai. And then we see him kind of like, they fight at the end or whatever. He like kind of hunts him down because he kind of like, Hawk struck the first blow, obviously, by spilling the drink on him. And then, you know, Eli goes and like talks about him and his personal life, and he pees the bed still, blah blah blah, and all this stuff. And then, you know, he tries to hunt him down. He gets a lucky kick in. Eli, I agree with what Hawk said. He got a lucky kick in, and you know, knocked Hawk out because Hawk was definitely going in. And then season 3, it goes a step further. There's a big moment between Hawk and Eli. Hawk has it basically becomes friends with all the bullies. And then at the end of the show, he's there with like the final assault. I thought that was like poorly written in there. I thought maybe they should have toned it back and like he like you can see he's having like mixed feelings about certain things that are happening, but he's doing them still nonetheless. You know, he's not like, nah, I don't really want to do this, guys. He's like you know, like the camera pans to him, and he's kind of like, oh man, I kind of wish I didn't do that or whatever, you know. But you did it though. You didn't hesitate really that much. Like you did it still. It would have been different at the end if he would have been like, "No, you guys go do what you're gonna do. I'm gonna go up here, whatever." And then he showed up to help Miyagi Do. That would have had a different feeling than you came here with us to beat up all these fucking kids. Then all of a sudden you want to betray everybody. Like that was the most wild backwards turn I ever seen. Like cool for the redemption, and I like Hawk as a character, so I'm kind of glad it happened. But it was not written very well, in my opinion. It could have gone very differently. I think you definitely could have set it up in a different way. But I mean, it is what it is. Glad to have Hawk, you know, back on the team. So, but I like I said before, I would not trust a Negro that did what he did at all. I'd be like, no, fuck you, bro, get out of here. And I'm sure that's going to be a point in season 3 or season 4. It's going to be a point of like, all you Cobra Kai kids, we don't trust you. Like y'all came over here to beat us up, or whatever, or we kept getting in the fights, or whatever. I'm not fucking with you. Like it's going to be a chemistry thing, I think. Like randomly, all of a sudden, like. And it's going to make people think like, y'all was just all the same team in this last fight. Now y'all want to act like y'all don't work together good or something.
What Daniel
you know?
said, he said there's just too many dojos, too much direction being given through the same community of people. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
like it's like the way I can kind of relate it in my head is I grew up playing baseball, so there's in Chula Vista there's probably 3 or 4 dominant little leagues, and even though you play little league, you know, you see other kids that play baseball too. You understand that you also play baseball, but you're not with my league, so I don't like you. You know, type of thing. It's like the same exact thing, bro. Like we come from different teachings. You know what I mean? And when you start switching up your style and the reason why you fight, going from dojo to dojo, obviously it's that discipline that we're talking about that's needed for things like fighting. So all those personal issues definitely come up when guys are getting involved, especially when there's girls involved and, you know, people being ashamed and stuff. But overall, that's the premise of the show, and that's why it's been, you know, pretty successful, I would say, because there's so much personal. There's such a big personal aspect when it comes to fighting, especially when it's not all fighting just in sport. Like these people are having like full fights at schools, you know what I'm saying? Like falling off. So it's like,
exactly.
It's just, you know, it's just the modern way of translating all those action movies and all those, you know, fighting and karate, obviously.
It's a great balance of drama and action is what I look at it as, because I've never once said that like I don't claim it for the writing aspect of it or like supreme acting or something like that. I don't think it's ever going to win any like crazy like, you know, like a not a Grammy, a freaking an Oscar or anything like that. Like, but it's like for what it is, it's fun. You need to go into it with a fun, like I'm here to watch some like fun stuff, not here to watch like, oh, like this cinematic masterpiece or something, you know, like. Go into it with just a fun thought process, and you're gonna have a good time watching it. You're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna find yourself rooting for random characters. Things are gonna change. You're gonna be like, "Oh man,
I just
damn,
couldn't
this is
imagine
crazy."
this series going too much further, because you understand that when it comes to, you know, basically it's fighting. The whole show was built around karate. So, and even though karate is a form of defense, haha, whatever, you know, everybody knows that they use it for battle, you know. So I just, the only way you keep fighting relevant is to always have a problem. So in these shows, they're great when they first start out because it's the backstory. This is why they fight. This is why this. But ultimately, everybody's kicking each other's ass. So the only way that continues to happen is if everybody still has hard feelings or everybody just likes fighting. So.
Sorry, we just had some technical difficulties, but we're right back. All right, go ahead, Joey. Yeah, my bad, bro.
No, like I was saying, with all like movies and shows, action and fighting, it's pretty basic. There has to be a reason to start fighting, the will to continue to fight, but how long does that will last? You know what I'm saying? So eventually these shows and movies die down because it's like, did we become friends after all this time of kicking each other's ass? You know what I'm saying? Like, so if the show goes too long, like if Cobra Kai goes to too many seasons, I could definitely feel it being one of those things where, hey, it started off really great, but then like, you know, like the story got too much and this and that. So I think if they want to make a bigger impact, they probably got a season or 2 left in it.
That's
you
like
know what I mean?
actually exactly what I thought. Pretty much, I feel like it'll go kind of one or two ways. One of the things I have or thoughts that I have is it could very well end with season 4, and like if they win, because like the deal is supposed to be if you guys win, then I'll go. If I win, you guys go, basically. And if they do win, the good guys, then that should technically be the end of the series, right? I also have another theory that I think Cobra Kai might win because it's so they're 17 right now, and the whole time we've ever watched like the Karate Kid movies and the show, it's always been about the All Valley Under 18 tournament. So I think it would kind of amp it up a little bit more if we see them in a place where it's the All Valley over 18 tournament.
Right.
Like
Now,
where they're fighting
now that they're
grown
grown,
ass men.
yeah. Now
Yeah,
that they're
yeah.
grown and it's like, oh, I go to college or oh, I have a job and my manager is always in my ass, but he does karate too, so now I got to fight him for a promotion. You know what I'm saying? Like I could see it going down that route a little bit.
It changes from the Karate Kid into Bloodsport that fast.
Exactly. So
Exactly.
that's why I'm just like, if they take it to adulthood, it'll be interesting. But I mean, this would be the final time they can officially fight in the tournament as kids. Because this season for sure, they talked about Miguel being a 17-year-old, which I thought they were like 15, 16. So I mean, they're pretty much almost adults and they're ready to graduate. It seems like then at that point. So
I got a theory.
We'll see what happens.
Well, I got a theory. I'm hoping that I forget his name already that fast. That guy that was in Japan. That he
chosen.
Yeah, that guy. I felt like he's gonna bring his own people, and he'd be like, "Oh, you guys think you guys know karate? I'm gonna bring my people over here." And,
that's so Asian right there, bro. That's such an Asian, like, you know what I mean? You killed my brother, suck my ball 2 times. You know what I mean? Like, it's so like
God.
personal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but definitely the way he definitely showed Daniel signed up when he went over there. He's like, you don't think Miyagi didn't teach you nothing, pretty much. He tells you all this other stuff that he didn't teach you and all that. I feel like there's more things that he has under the tub.
Obviously, because Miyagi was really big on honor and discipline. So I feel like he definitely deprived Daniel LaRusso of a side of aggression so that he knew he could always stay, like a good guy. You know what I mean? Because you know that there's a level of confidence and power that comes with something as violent as fighting and having that confidence. Because like me myself, like I've taken a few self-defense classes. You know what I mean? Even at the college level, like out of high school, I took a Muay Thai class, and that mental confidence, knowing like, hey, I know how to defend myself a little bit here. You know what I mean? Like you kind of walk a little different. And I think when you reach such a level of knowledge when it comes to karate or any form of fighting or aggression, really, you have that supreme confidence in the back of your mind, and it probably could, if you don't have supreme discipline or morality, it probably could lead you to do some pretty ignorant things and some hurtful things. So I feel like Miyagi definitely was the nice guy and was like, I don't know if I want to teach this because people take advantage of their skills. So definitely this guy, the chosen or whatever, is like the guy where it's like, yeah, karate, but do you know karate? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that.
Yeah, that was definitely a cool addition. I did like that balance too, because at first you kind of get this like kind of like negative feeling about it, like, dang, why wouldn't Mr. Miyagi teach him everything? But then when you see it, it's kind of like it is more in the aspect of like, oh yeah, like it's kind of good you didn't learn all this stuff. You didn't really need this. Like Mr. Miyagi's obviously more peaceful and pacifist than he is being about aggressive and being the aggressor and fighting too. And the technique that he learns, it was definitely a useful one, because it was basically, if somebody wants to keep waging war with you, you have to negate the ability for them to wage war. So that was kind of like what he learned. And it's like, as a young Daniel LaRusso, I definitely could have seen him using that in a negative way, or kind of being more of a bully potentially, I mean, and that's what we're kind of seeing throughout the majority of the show is we're seeing the kids that get bullied gain confidence, learn some self-defense, and then they're becoming what they were, what they were dealing with. They become the bullies. And it kind of just goes to show you, like you were saying, Joey, like, you kind of get that, like, that confidence, and a little bit of that, like, oh, I can fight, so it's like I can do whatever I want, and it's kind of like, well, dang, like you guys are becoming exactly what you guys were getting, picked on by. So it's interesting to see that, and I definitely think that kind of answers one of my questions. I don't think that Daniel will teach anybody that move now because of that, because it can be used in such a negative way. I mean, hell, if you could just disable somebody's ability to fight, then it's like you're gonna just beat up and do whatever you want to whoever you want, But I am super interested to see Daniel LaRusso and Miguel's relationship in the future. I don't think they've had but maybe 1 or 2 scenes together before season 3, and I feel like they got a lot of like FaceTime in season 3, like when they finally met and talked or whatever. So that was really cool to see, and I'm excited for that. The last
What I
thing
think about too is
say
go ahead.
go ahead. No. I was going to say the last thing I want to say about Cobra Kai, but if you got
no. Well, it was kind of like maybe I could say it afterwards, but I was just gonna say, are you guys aware of any other projects or movies or shows that any of these actors are in, or do you think Cobra Kai is possibly that opportunity to be seen and maybe get some roles off of this?
I think that's exactly what Cobra Kai was.
Looking at that one dude. I forgot. I don't know none of these people's names except for the main character. He's a big black dude. So they were fighting, and he had the book in the backpack. I kept waiting for him to break. I kept waiting for him to break out some beats or something like that because he was in that movie.
He was in
that movie. So the whole time I was just like, well, maybe that's why they didn't bring back that Alicia. Her name's Alicia, right? Aisha. Yeah. Why they didn't bring back Aisha? Because she's actually working on another movie right now, or a different type of show or something like that.
And that's what I was gonna say is sometimes like you have to think about the real life aspect of these shows being made. And some people use this opportunity to like be noticed. And like you said, there's gonna be people who don't make certain seasons or the plot changes simply because these people aren't available anymore. You know what I mean? So
that's a fact. Well, I know for her, in her case, she said she had no idea she wasn't coming back, and then I guess the writers just said like they didn't really have a storyline for her. That's why they removed her character. But I thought that was kind of like poor taste, because I had feelings like if Aisha's not going to be relevant to the story, then Moon is irrelevant to the story. And Moon literally has, I think, one scene in this whole show. She's like in the very beginning, like playing guitar, like trying to talk about peace or whatever. We should all come together and be friends or whatever. And then I was like, if Aisha's not in the show, Moon doesn't need to be in the show anymore because she's not with Hawk. She has no other relevance to the story. She's not a fighter. She's kind of like a little PC piece person or whatever. But like, she don't come out again and try to deliver that. Oh no, she comes out again during the car wash scene. But that's the last time I remember ever seeing her throughout the rest of the show, because she's not at the house during the party or nothing like that. And then
we'll see, man. I just feel like I said, not everybody's always available. So even if she's available at a minimal capacity, they might be forced to script her in a certain way just because she's been a regular face. You know what I mean? At least so continue.
It would be interesting. It would be interesting too to see her come back now, like if she did come back, because she was loyal to Cobra Kai when she left. So if that's the case, she might still be against like Sam and Miguel and all of them too, which would be interesting to see. But I also want to point out that just because she's not here in this season doesn't mean that she can't come back in the future, because a lot of old faces from season 1 and 2 that maybe weren't even in season 2 return. So like if she could come back, that I'm fine with that. I would like that, as a matter of fact, but only time will tell, obviously.
And one last thing, shout out to nerds getting hot chicks.
My boy Eli in there, boy. Definitely. Man, I was gonna ask that. That was one of my questions. What do you think about Eli and Yasmin? I mean, she did him a hella solid. Like, Kyler drew that thing on his arm, and then she said, I like your big old thing on your arm. And I was just like, bro, like, my boy's so in there.
The whole time I was sitting there, like, when they gonna throw it in? When they just gonna fall in love already? And then all of a sudden they come around the corner. I'm like, oh, that was that fast. Wow. Okay.
And I like where Eli is, like, in his like popularity and like kind of confidence self, because he's not like a complete douchebag, but he's like, he ain't gonna just take your shit. So like, she'll talk shit to him and he talks shit right back. You know, like in the beginning, she's like, "Oh my god, I missed when things were back to normal." And he's like, "Well, your popularity is on the decline." I was like, mine's rising right now." He's like, "Girls know my name." She said like, "Him ill, no, gross, ill." Like she like walks away, and he's like, "Whatever, Cruella, why don't you go get some Dalmatians?" And he's like, "I'm 101% in love, though." So it's like, you know, like he like low key smooth. He a little smooth with it for sure, for sure. But the last thing I wanted to bring up too, for Cobra Kai before we close that out, is Robbie a bitch ass nigga, and why is he?
Well, that has a couple of different angles to that answer, because I would say yes to a point of he knows he can kick them dudes. He can kick them dudes' ass in the juvie, but he was over there talking about, "Oh, I'm gonna let them take my pillow. It's fine." And this is and that. I would have the first thing I would have been, you know, I'm putting God first of all. I'm about to take out all of y'all.
Well, I mean, it, it's not like he's done time before. You know, some people who've done time is scared of altercations because, bro, the longer I put my time in here, you know what I'm saying, I can't get out. So maybe he was just trying to avoid confrontation.
He definitely talks about it at first because the black dude talks about, oh, he knows karate or whatever, right? And he was like, he tries to bring it out of him, and he's like, my karate is only used for self defense or whatever. So they start messing with him to make him fight or whatever. And then like, you know, like they take the pillow, he's not going to do nothing because he is taught by Miyagi Do at that time. He's not the whole strike first thing until like the end of that season. But so like, I don't like Robbie. I haven't liked him since the first season. I get you have your daddy issues, but like for whatever stupid ass reason, you keep seeing Miguel and thinking that your dad loves him more. And it's like in the first season, he was actually going to go talk to his dad or whatever at Cobra Kai, and then he sees him and Miguel, and it's like, bro, that's your dad. That's some random ass kid, and this is your dad. Go talk to your dad, bro. If you want to go talk to your dad, don't get jealous because your dad, who is a sensei, is teaching some kid karate. What is wrong with you? Then the show goes on or whatever, and then he like, you know, he tries to get back at him with the LaRusso thing, and then they kind of like leave him, and then LaRusso goes back to him, takes him in as a family in season 2, or as in the house in season 2, and then you know he fights Miguel, who he already has a grudge with, and low key he's fucking shysty as fuck anyway because he Miguel gave the medal back and he didn't want to tell Sam, so he just hid it somewhere in Miyagi-Do and they found it randomly in the floor, and then like so he's already shady McShadester. Then he sees like Miguel is trying to like, or no, he sees that the girls are fighting and he tries to intervene. So then Miguel and him fight, and it's like y'all kind of are long overdue for this, but it's like Miguel clearly spared you. He had you pinned to the floor and let you go. And here you want to go going above and beyond and kick my nigga over the ledge. Like if that had been me and my boys, oh, best believe we would have caught Robbie. He wouldn't have been able to run out to school faster. We would have caught him lacking. We would have put the hands and feet all over that kid, and it would have been a wrap. And I'd have been like, when you wake up, we taking you, and we finna do it again. You know, like so it was just like that kid is a problem child for sure. I get he's got a lot of issues with his mom and stuff, and he goes to the prison whenever he gets out. He don't want nothing to do with Daniel LaRusso because he's like, you know, oh, like, look what you did to me. You put me in jail. And it's like, well, nigga, if you didn't do the dumb shit you did in the first place, you wouldn't be here. And what I'm doing is for the best. And he was there for him, too. Like, yo, you good? Sam tries to email him or whatever. He never tries to email her back after the power goes out or whatever or they unplug the computer. And I think that's when they fight for the first time or something like that.
It's so crazy.
But then, like,
every time you have a show where somebody's fighting, they hold on to all that energy for so long. But like in real life, it's like, bro, if half of these things happen, it's just like, bro, you go vent about it, you play some 2K and smoke a blunt, and you're cool. So it's like karate shows and movies really amp the emotions.
He had the nerve to tell Sam and Miguel that they like hooked up right after he left the school, because even though Miguel's been paralyzed for the past however many months in a coma too, and he had the nerve to, would you guys get back together as soon as I left or whatever? And it's like, Negro, you've been in jail for I don't know how, or in juvie for I don't know how long. I've been comatose. I just got back on my feet. Like, bro, and first of all, we over here just chilling, hanging out, talking. That's all we're doing. You came over here to Miyagi-Do and want to insinuate some shit. Then you want to fight. So Sam is defending me because she knows damn well I'm crippled. You want to fight a crippled. That's what you're trying to do, right? Okay. All right, man. Like,
crazy.
That kid is sorry. That kid is sorry as fuck. I hate his character. I hope Miguel gets to whoop his ass again.
They do it, man. That's good
Robbie,
though.
bro.
Like that's why they make shows. You're supposed to like and dislike different people, and it's gonna be other people who feel like they like Robbie and they can't stand Miguel. Oh, he's such a nice guy. They're overdoing it and blah blah. You know what I mean? Like that's exactly what you want from a show. So success,
Facts, bro.
successful as a show.
For sure, for sure. But Cobra Kai, it's fire as fuck. Definitely check it out. Season 3 came out on January 1st, 2021.
Segue,
So, first bit of little content for the
segue though.
year.
Like speaking of fighting, you heard the people who have been vandalizing certain politicians and stuff's homes ever since they gave us a $600 stimmy.
Oh my God, Mitch McConnell, where's my
Bro,
money?
somebody wrote "Where's my money" on Mitch McConnell's home in I think it was in Kentucky or something, somewhere random, Louisville, and they spelled "where's" wrong. They put "weirs."
Yeah.
That goes to show you right now, right there, it was some country white folks who wrote that because it was not "weirs." Where's my money?
That shit's so crazy, bro.
You said they got
That shit's so
Pelosi too.
crazy.
What
Bro, they
got on
got
her?
Pelosi's house
I
too.
think so, yeah.
Sheesh.
People are not, Americans are not playing about their money. They want that check. Cut the check.
Bro, think about it. Think about. Okay, I'm 30, but let's imagine you're 40 to 50 years old. You've been paying grown folk taxes for 30 plus years now. You've been paying into this idea that I have to pay my dues as a citizen, and they're gonna fix our roads, and they're gonna help build hospitals and schools, and this and that. And then a pandemic hits, and there's relief packages where it's like, hey, we know you guys can't work. We had to shut down restaurants and businesses, and we know the people are struggling, so we're gonna chip you off some. And after 3 months, they send you $1,200, but just once, just a one-time payment. And then 5 more months go by, and they're like, hey, y'all, we want to get you some money, but we want to make sure homosexual frogs in Cambodia get their cut. So y'all only getting 600. What the fuck is you talking about? The bill is 6,000 pages long. And when Donald Trump came out and he said the most intelligent thing I think he ever said, when he came out and said, I'm not signing this shit. It's too long for people to sit down and want to read. When he said that, I felt for the first time I could relate to Donald Trump. Bro, you damn right. Nobody trying to sit there and read 6,000 pages to see what we disagree or agree on. And you're sending thousands of dollars of money to places that have nothing to do with like the actual relief of a pandemic. Like these people are signing papers and doing stuff as if we're not in panic mode as a people. But you want to send billions of dollars to other places for nothing and say, "Oh, but here's y'all 600 though." Bro, if you don't match my 12 at least.
Bro,
And
yeah, I
then
was I was in the store stimulating the economy, right? And then I was sitting there like, man, imagine if I didn't have a job this whole time, and this is all that they gave me.
exactly.
I just spent half of this in 2 hours. Like what the?
Bro, my car registration is due in like 15 days. That's literally half of that stimulus check. like come on, bro. Like you mean to tell me you expect somebody to pay a bill? Like it's now been what a total of $1,800 in 10 whole months, right? Right.
It's crazy.
So
Hella crazy.
what y'all do? Like what the fuck, bro? Come on, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. Y'all paid water bills. Thank you. Whatever.
And somebody in Flint is still pissed about that water.
Bro, hey, that was my big thing. You know, I got a lot of movement on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram about that. I said, I know that from most people's perspective, it's 600 is better than nothing. But how can y'all say we're going to give you guys less money because we're sending all the, these millions to other nations that for things that aren't COVID relief, but we couldn't send a few million to Flint, Michigan to fix a water thing. That's an issue on American soil. Like how does make it make sense, bro? When California was suffering through all the fires, and they didn't want to. Even Trump was like, "Oh, we're not sending help unless they kiss our ass." You know what I mean? It's like, come on, bro. Do y'all care about people or not? And that's what's hurtful. This year, I found out. You know what? They don't care about us, bro. They really just don't, and it's hurtful. And it's like maybe it's better than living in a third world country, quote unquote, because sometimes I feel like the energy that they give here is third worldish. But I don't know, man. It sucks following rules for a society that feels like it's just working against us just because, like out of greed, you know?
Michael Jackson been tried to tell us, man. They don't really care about us. It's really this. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I have a question real quick and I never asked this
Yep,
before in
they
real
killed
life.
him.
It just kind of in my head.
Oh, okay.
No, not that. Um, what is a second world country?
Canada.
I think it goes. I think it goes in order of what they have available to them.
Okay.
The term second world refers to the former communist, socialist, industrial states. I'm Googling right now, obviously.
So would that be China
The
Canada.
territory
and like Russia?
of the Union of Soviet
You
Socialist.
thought I was playing. I'm telling you, it was Canada.
It sounds like I don't really know, bro. It sounds like a bunch of bullshit. I mean, think about it though. Can you blame me for feeling that?
No, I definitely feel you on that. I mean, it's just one of those things where it's kind of like you have like these wake up moments like every once in a while, but it's kind of like what I used to say anytime Daniel kind of like brought up like conspiracy theory stuff, you know, even if it like now like we're kind of seeing some of this stuff might actually be true, but it's one of those things where it's kind of like what can you do about it? You know what I mean? Like the government doesn't care about us, but like all we can do is vote on a person, and I still have yet to really believe that okay, people are really can impact the votes like just like that or whatever, right? And then and then you also have like the Senate seats or whatever, you know, and all that. And it's just like, well,
what's the point of having a president?
You can always try to vote for
what's the point?
Yeah, like you can always vote for like the best man that you think is, or best man or woman that you think is fit for the job. But at the end of the day, they're gonna do whatever the fuck they want to do with the job, and then half the time they might try to make promises or say things that they want to do, but in reality, they might not even be able to do half the shit that they want to do. They can only do some of the things, like half the things that they kind of want to do.
That's like having
so
having a puppet show and having kids choose which puppets we use, but the script is still the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing here? But I looked it up. I looked up first and second world countries just as a quick Google search. I know that America made this fucking term now, and I think I want to stop using it actually, because it says the first world consisted of the U.S., Western Europe, and their allies. Now, who does that sound like make that? Right. The second world was the so-called communist bloc, the Soviet Union, China, Cuba, and friends. They put and friends. The remaining nations which aligned with neither group were assigned to the third world. Assigned. Did you hear that? Assigned to the third world. The third world has always had blurred lines. But you know what? I'm glad you asked that, Brandon, because I think it's probably ignorant for me to keep using that term now that I realize it's simply just America's way of saying y'all ain't with it.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that though? Like people sat in a room and they were like, they didn't help us, they didn't help you, they get no help from either one of us. And
third world countries, so they come to racing.
The rest of their existence is they're gonna be living in squalor and all that, and you know, eating with the pigs and all that out there, and then we're not gonna care about it. We're gonna go test our drugs over there. You know, we're gonna tell them it's a flu shot, but we're actually testing out, you know, biological weapons over there. Well, yeah, look that up. That actually happened. Anyway, but
fucking bullies, like, man. Yeah. And so the U.S. is bullies. You know what I'm saying? And the people here who are getting bullied, literally, just like we face our attention toward other people. Like it's a whole setup, bro. Living in the United States is like reliving high school all over again. There's different cliques. You know what I'm saying?
But then, like, because we're programmed that way.
Oh, come on, bro.
Through high school.
Yep,
it's crazy, ain't it?
Oh my god, y'all need to stop the wormhole, the rabbit hole, because
nah, man.
If we start going down this, we're gonna be here another hour.
Elementary school, how did they start every class? Put your hand over your heart and repeat after me. Now, how does that work? Like everything in the government talking about, oh, you can't talk about this, you can't do that, you can't do this, you have to be sensitive about that, and people get mad about religion and this and that, but still spend the money that has the word God on it. But okay, whatever.
God we trust. It's a deeper, darker criminal link for sure.
With the whole eye of the thing on the pyramid and everything. Like, come on, bro. It's hiding in plain sight. Like, come
I've
on.
been, I've been, I've
Like,
been, I've been telling people, bro. As far as when they said, "Oh, in God we trust," I'm like, yeah, they can say that. You don't know who they're referring to as God.
Yes,
exactly.
sir.
Exactly. I had to, you know what I had to do the other day? I had to enlighten somebody to those videos we talked about on Amazon Prime,
Mm,
the movies. The what was it called?
I forget, but it's the prophecy ones.
Yeah, the ones about the prophecy, from Babylon to the United States or
Oh
something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Daniel, do you remember those? You remember those old videos you showed us, Daniel, on YouTube?
Which ones?
There was like a eye, like that was like looking at like the screen or whatever, and that's how it would start. And there was like a bunch of parts, and like some guy like made this like there was a part about DMX. They talked about 9/11. They talked about like a bunch of stuff.
Is that
Oh
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was something like that. I don't. Do you remember what it was called?
No, I don't remember what it was called.
Probably been removed since then. You know,
That's
America confessed to a bunch of
crazy.
BS this year. Hey, by the way, aliens are real. Like I'm just waiting for them to just come out and say, yeah, never been to the moon.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, for real though. It's so crazy how the alien thing and like UFO thing kind of popped up, and then just like we just all right, cool, we're locked down. It don't really matter anyway. Like I thought, like
I mean, think about it.
it's so wild.
Think about it. Like we have decades and decades of um
Entertainment
I want to
involving
say
aliens.
no, I want to say we have decades and decades of recorded research now, and we have technology that surpassed what a lot of minds were probably thinking about 100 years ago. And yeah, they put stuff into the internet and social media and this and that, but you would think with all the advancements we've made, we'd probably be able to get along more as people. Like things like medicine and stuff would probably be further than what it is now. But they keep putting money into things like advertisement to make more money right away instead of to just bring awareness to stuff and like fix us as people first. You know what I mean? So like greed is always going to be that defining reason as to why we don't really develop. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hurtful. Like really everything we've gone through this year really kind of put a lot of scary things in a perspective. So I'm glad we have stuff like movies and shit to talk about because otherwise, man, my mind goes down this freaking hole of just straight up depression. I ain't gonna lie, man. Think about what's going on, man. It's
Yeah,
scary.
it is definitely important to keep yourself distracted, especially with hobbies and constructive things too. Um, I think work is a big one. Even though some people think like it's super crazy to work 5 days a week for the rest of your life and then have 2 days off, or all the
Brad, that
things like
that to
that.
me is never
Yeah,
that's never gonna make sense in my
yeah,
mind no
yeah,
more. Five out of 7 days, 5 out of 7. Come on,
yeah. I
just
think
just to say that I deserve to live here.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on,
Yes, and
bro.
stuff like that.
But
There's a lot of things that like we as Americans were raised to believe that are kind of like this doesn't really make sense. But I mean, it's the world we live in, unfortunately. And like you said, distractions are a good way. I know, like even for me, like when I first got in the military, I didn't work, and like I know like every day was just kind of like a black hole of just like nothingness, just because like I would like kind of just play games. I wouldn't go nowhere. I wouldn't do anything. I would like kind of ignoring my girl that I was living with at the time. I was really just kind of vegging out every day, like and like. But when I started working, though, I felt a lot better about myself. I found myself being a way more talkative, wanting to do things. Like they're just kind of something about like I don't want to just call them distractions, but like being kind of constructive, kind of enjoying things, like kind of finding life in things, not like you're just not doing anything, but just like when you're really doing something and enjoying what you're doing to a degree, like you're kind of being active, you're moving your body around, you're utilizing your mind to a degree, things like that. Like that stuff really kind of like gives you more like I don't know if purpose is the word, but like it helps you live better, like your quality of life just improves when you're kind of like being functional, being a functional adult versus like when you're not being so functional, like there's just something about like kind of being, I don't know, preoccupied or busy or, kind of like, working in general, whatever if it's on a craft, a personal hobby, your actual work, where it's like athletic, like, whatever it is, when you're kind of doing that stuff, it's good for your body and mind in general, and you can't go wrong with like staying busy and being occupying your time. Because a lot of times too, like some people like, and this is probably affects a lot of people. People get alone with their thoughts and they start thinking crazy shit, bro. Like that's like one of the things I hate the most about driving to Arizona right now is like, bro, that's a long 6 hours to just like try to listen to music, but then like you kind of get tired of it and then your mind just starts wandering. And I'm just like, I really don't want to think about this right now. Damn, that happened so long ago. Why am I thinking about this right now? Jeez, oh, this
Yeah,
song is.
really put this year really put emphasis on how important communication is just for the sake of the mind,
Yes,
you
sir.
know?
Yes, sir.
Just like knowing how to communicate. I know there's going to be people coming out of this who have had very minimal communication apart from talking on the phone and FaceTime and this and that, but that body to body in your face communication, that gives off a different vibe. It brings off different nervous type of emotions. Not all nervous is bad, by the way, but it brings out all type of different reactions. And can you look somebody in the eyes and shit like that? So we'll see, man. Everything's really changing right now. I mean, every kids in school right now, there's 5 and 6 year olds learning that the at home schooling via Zoom is normal.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So
True.
it's very different right now. And honestly, there's something that hasn't been made a point yet because of all the at home learning and screen sharing and stuff. Everybody got to make sure they got that blue UV screen or glasses or something, because staring at a screen like that a lot is not good.
For your
And
eyes,
I
yeah.
actually fear for myself because I play video games, I work at a computer, I sit on my phone. So I realize most of my attention is now towards screens. We really got to start taking more care of ourselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
In
I was
certain
talking to a
ways.
family friend yesterday, and he was told me he was like, "Man, I've read 15 books this year," and I was just like, "What? Did you plan that?" He was just like, "No, it just came out. Like I got rid of my TV. Why?" He's like, "I have a TV, but I have no cable. I don't have no streaming services or nothing." I picked up a book, I read it, and I picked up another one and read it, and I just kept going. And he's like, I've been able to exercise my mind to the best of my ability just because I had nothing to do all year. And I really sat there. I was like, dang, 15. I ain't got through 3 books this year. And be over here on number
Dang.
15, bro. So I'm like, man, that's definitely the best way to utilize your time because you get the stimulation because you get the conversation between in your mindset between the characters and all that. You get to grow with the character in the book and all that, and it lets you forget about everything. You just read a book. So that's gonna be my first. Once we a bunch of people get vaccinated, I'm not. Once a bunch of people get vaccinated, and it's starting to be safe to go out there and date again. I'll be like, yo, how many books have you read? That's gonna be my first question.
You'll be
The only
surprised about how many people actually read books on a consistent basis, like big old solid books. Like, I always get surprised by one the people when I like, not that I like judging everybody like, oh, you're dumb as a box of rocks or something, but I don't. The person doesn't strike me as like, oh, I read all the time or something.
right.
That's always surprising. And then the other thing is how many people are like that. I'm like, dang, like, why are you asking for another book?
You know
Like that's
exactly.
crazy. I didn't
You know
think
what
this many
blows my
people were out here
mind?
really reading like that.
What blows my mind is there's some people out there that at least they do something for like a mental pleasure. You know what I mean? Can you imagine that there's people out there that go an entire 24 hours in any 24-hour span and don't listen to not one song, not even by chance, like
That shit is crazy.
not even like a neighbor drives by bumping some music and you can relate to it. You know what I mean? Like
That's
that would
super
just.
crazy.
And by the way, the only 66 books that matter. Well, Daniel knows. My, my
Hallelujah.
favorite, my favorite,
Hallelujah.
my my favorite 5 books are the shortest though. Third John, Second John, Philemon, Obadiah, and Jude. None of them break 500 words, so those are the books I'm gonna stick
Yeah,
Man, speaking of,
when we get to heaven, you definitely got an advocate. I'm gonna be sitting there, be like, "You didn't read none of my word." I'm gonna be like, didn't even read the beginning of Star Wars. He ain't reading the Bible." Okay,
to. Well, well, I know he wept, so I. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
man,
What you got, Brandon?
I was just gonna say, speaking of books, something I really recommend, which I actually watch. So I've always heard this term like, oh man, it's so much, it's not as good as the book. It's not as good as the book. And that always kind of has rung true. Like for me, even like in books in the past that I have read, like the most recent being Ready Player One. I read the book Ready Player One, or had it read to me technically. And then I watched the movie and it was not as good as like the book was. And damn, I low key missed getting that book read to me. Damn, those. Damn. Anyway, moving on from there. The Something I watched recently is called Sweet Home. I just happened upon it by chance. I think we talked about it, Daniel, like briefly, like, oh, like you guys check this out or whatever, right? And I think you watched a trailer or something. It was super good. I really enjoyed it. It's kind of like I think Koreans low key might be winning in the category of like zombies/monsters. Like they're really good at that. Like I don't know what it is about them, but like I know like George A. Romero is like the highest like standpoint for me. But like now I'm like I think the new the new like criteria to like, oh, is this a good zombie movie, is going to be like Korean zombie and monster films. Like it ain't going to be George A. Romero anymore. It's going to be Koreans. But it was really good. I enjoyed it. Like I said, season 1 came out. It was 10 episodes, I believe. They're pretty long, so it's like watching 4 or 10 movies. Really, it's really good. Like I said, I really enjoyed it because like the beginning is like super horror based. It kind of turns into more of a drama later on, with a couple scenes of like monsters and stuff like that. But the beginning, like I remember waking up and I was kind of having like a nightmare. Like I thought like what was going on in the TV was happening in my room. And like there's like this monster called the protein monster, and it's like makes a thump sound because it's so big and heavy. And I thought like my bed was shaking in like the hotel that I stay in when I go to Arizona. And I was just like, oh shit, like what's happening? And then like I watched the screen and it was just a screen. I was like, oh fuck, like that was crazy, bro. Like I was like, what would I even do in that situation? Just because like it's about people trapped in a hotel, or not a hotel, but a apartment complex. It's a huge building. Everything's locked up. There's monsters all over the building. They don't know who's infected or who's not infected. A big part of the infection is your deepest desires. That kind of like determines what you will turn into. The protein monster is obviously somebody who wanted to work out a lot and get really big. There's a really fast monster who's based off a guy who was like really fast and good at track. I know a little bit more about that because I decided to read the manhwa after that, which is it's on Webtoons. It's actually called Home Sweet Home on Webtoons. It's about 140 chapters, so it's not that long. So I don't know how much they're going to do for season 2. But reading the manhwa, it's way more in depth with like the characters. I see what people saying. Like some people say like they mess with the characters. I like the show because I didn't read the webtoon, but I can definitely see if I had read the webtoon first, then I probably would not have liked the show as much as I did. But I like both personally. I like both series. I haven't finished it yet. I'm on like chapter 75, I think, of the on webtoon, and I'm definitely excited to see how it's going to end up, whatever, how things will change, or whatever. But it's super cool. I definitely recommend you guys check it out. Like I said, you can either read it on Webtoon, which is like a manhwa is just like it's basically a manga. It's a comic book basically. So there's a bunch of reading involved. They kind of go into more detail about the monsterization, more details about the characters, and a lot of the characters are a lot more friendly and nicer than they are in the show. Kind of depicts them. So that's kind of a nice change of pace too. Certain character deaths are a little bit sadder, unfortunately. Things like that. Most people when they make something live action, they kind of take their own little liberties to like change this and that. Make things a little bit more heroic, make things look a little bit better, make things kind of go a little bit more smoother. Because obviously, you cannot take the same amount of time as you take on a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
Put it on a show.
Mm-hmm.
Like things have to kind of keep going along, so it's like you can only do so much, whatever. But yeah, like I said, I definitely recommend it. I don't really have much else, guys, unless you guys have anything besides. I had one last thing that I wanted to bring up.
Something you're messing with?
I guess that's kind of what I was doing. Yeah, something you're messing
Okay,
with.
I'll go in because I've had a few things. I actually want to. I don't mean to put down something to pick up another thing, but I have to when my hands are full. The the new game of Call of Duty came out, the Cold War. And the integration that happened with Warzone, I actually wasn't too much of a fan of, so I haven't been playing it. So I was like, you know what, let me pick up another game. So I saw that I still haven't downloaded the Tony Hawk 1 and 2. I downloaded that. Great, by the way. The graphics make the experience so real. Like, dang, how did I ever not play it like this? You know what I mean? Like, just kind of feels like that. And then I also downloaded the PGA Tour 2K21, and I put Daniel on it, and it's so many memories. I know it's just a golf game, but it's like, man, it's so relaxing. I feel like, now I can wake up and play a round of golf, and then go to work. So it's like, not the actual round, but whatever.
Yeah,
But I
look,
got some fresh new games.
I agree with that. Yeah, because I was telling you while we were playing, I was like, I'm surprised. It's easy to forget how mentally tough you have to be for these games because there's so many different things you had to remember. We had to like adjust for the wind. We had to adjust for the lie. We had to make sure we had the right club. We had to make sure we had to put the right spin on it. How fast is the green? What angle is the green going
Yeah,
at?
it's a good little mental exercise.
And
Really
all of that's before you swing the clubs. So I was just like,
yeah, exactly.
so if you could do everything right if your thumb is crooked for half a second, yeah, all that goes out the window.
So just the thrill of some new games in my life, just because I feel like I've been I feel like a lot of people have gotten caught up in these traps of just repetitive day in and day out because there's only so much society you can kind of you know get mixed in with right now. So that was it. Nothing serious. The Wonder Woman movie came out. I guess HBO Max is starting to be pull some real weight.
Bro, they got a lot of shit on HBO Max. I still haven't got it yet, but I'm definitely
I'm waiting
Nah.
for the
After what I just told y'all about this thing, do not get this yet.
I'm waiting for Coming to America 2 to come out, I believe in March.
That's gonna be on Amazon, right?
No, I believe it's also HBO Max.
Yeah, I kind of saw it was Amazon or something.
I got Amazon. So I'll be waiting. But that's it, man. Honestly, it ain't been too much going on, really. Apart from the show that we just spent 35-40 minutes talking about.
Cobra Kai, definitely check it out. What about you, Daniel? You got anything?
COVID Kai.
Well, most COVID Kai. Oh my God, that's great.
Wow.
We'll see the things I've been doing. Literally to keep my mind busy. I've got this project going on at the apartment right now. Next time you guys are over here, you'll probably see me the finished product and all that. Where I'm putting up the sound foam. Like I went ham with this whole movie theater inside your own place thing. I got the surround sound bumping up in here now. I got the sound foam coming up.
Oh, the Dolby Digital. Okay.
Dolby Digital Plus, sir.
Oh yeah.
That, and then I'm about to get these lights to go around the bottom. Thanks to Trump. Trump helped get this, project really running with that extra 600 I didn't need. I was just like going through. So now I got to get these lights to go around the bottom of it. So it really look like a movie theater when you walk up in here next time you come in here. And so whenever they say, "Oh, you guys can't go out the house," I'm Gucci because I'm having fun up here anyway. But
you got the special seats and everything. Like, what's that brand that they be putting in cars? I think you had it in yours before. Remember, it's like the seats and the high quality seats and the surround sound. It's made by who?
You mean D-Box?
No, you had it in the truck you had before. It's the Edward something.
The Eddie Bauer.
Yeah, you got the Eddie Bauer couches and everything.
Almost. I need to talk about Gilbert to see where he got his couches from. Those were pretty fire. But besides that, what we were talking about earlier, how about TV series and movies? There's this TV series that I keep seeing on Netflix, keeps recommending it to me, but they don't know I've read the book and I have no interest in watching that terrible TV series. It's called Zoo. If anybody can get their hands on that book called Zoo by Jordan Patterson, I think his name is, that is a great read. Great read. It'll keep you on the edge of your seat the entire time you're reading it.
Is that the one with the animals? Like they kind of all like become sentient or whatever?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
That book is a complete fire. So yeah, the two things to keep your mind going on: a nice book and a nice project going around the house. Whatever project you can think of that you want to do, now is the time to do it. Your fam. I mean, it's been time to do it since they shut everybody down, but I can understand people being too afraid or or sick or anything like that to have anything get done because it really shook people's core. But now, in 2021, I know everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm gonna get in shape." Stop. We all know by March you're gonna be the same. You're gonna be the same pig eating food you was last year. So let's go ahead and get a project started at your house.
Challenge accepted. Okay, challenge accepted. I'm actually buying I'm in the process of purchasing an air fryer. You know what I mean? I got a bunch of little veggie peelers and stuff that I can
Bro,
make
I
instant
want an air
pasta and
fryer too.
stuff.
That shit looks flames,
And
bro.
there's a bunch of I mean, honestly, it's just something that me and my family kind of has to do is just work on our health. So I've realized I'm just gonna put up the money to get all these things and just hopefully it works out.
Yeah,
You know what I
I
George
mean?
would.
Foreman, who?
I would, bro. I kid you not. I did that to myself though. I promised myself I was going to start the Daniel fast, right? So I'm up in there. I'm up in there and getting all the vegetables and all that, all my fruits and all that. I left the cart there. I was like, I'm not ready to do this. That's just what I've done. I had a full cart
But
of
you know why?
vegetables and fruit.
It's
I just
that
walked out.
it's that connection thing I was talking about earlier. When you have people around you, like if you have roommates and you have everybody committed to the same thing in your space, because you have a lot of personal space. I know you like it that way, but when you have a lot of alone time and stuff, there is no subtle motivation that just kind of like throws stuff at you. You know what I mean? Like you don't walk in the house and then you see somebody like, eating a salad. You know what I mean? Like you don't have like that little, and honestly, I don't have that either because everybody in my house is generally kind of unhealthy and likes to snack. So it's really just more like I'm a little older now and I realize like, man, if I don't take care of myself, this is going to end a lot sooner than I'm ready for it to, so it's more of like a fear thing.
I left out of there thinking I was like, I need a partner, to go ahead and get this started with, so I can know that somebody else is suffering with me, and all that. So I am taking applications if anybody want to start the Daniel fast. So
Definitely got to do some kind of meal prep to a degree. You know what I mean? Somewhat. At least the week, at least the days where you're working, where it's like you're tired because you've been working. So it's like I don't really get picky on the weekdays because when I work, when you're busy, you don't think about, or maybe some people do, but I don't necessarily think about what I'm craving when I'm just hungry. I'm just gonna eat whatever's there, and if nothing's available, you go get whatever's the fastest and the cheapest, which turns out to be not the best of foods.
definitely.
So it's kind of like you have to just like prepare yourself so that you trick yourself into eating healthier in a way, I guess. I don't know. I'm not like I'm skinny. I'm saying I'm just trying to figure it out.
Right. So applications will be going up. No resume needed. You can be hired immediately if you're really down to do it.
You know what's crazy too
That's
is
a fact.
we talk about reading books, and that's actually kind of my resolution is I want to be more into reading because I love writing. I write and type every day, but it almost seems like how good am I really at that if I don't take the time to read other people's work?
Having
I
fun
feel you.
isn't hard when you've got a library card.
Damn, bro, are libraries ever gonna exist again?
Mm.
Are they closed right now?
That's a good question. I actually don't know. I haven't been to a library in years. Maybe well, like 2 years, maybe. But like, yeah, I have no
And to
idea.
think Amazon started as a book delivery service, right?
I
I think
don't. I honestly
Amazon
don't know.
Amazon was first for books. That was the
That's funny.
primary source of Amazon.
Then they were just like, we're gonna do everything. Fuck
Yeah,
it.
when I worked at Amazon as a delivery driver, our three most delivered items was
Flashlights.
toilet
Um,
paper, and that was before the pandemic because it's cheaper when you buy in bulk. Toilet paper, um, dish soap, like washing soap in the kitchen, and phone cases.
Oh wow,
Those are the three most. Well, they were. I don't want to speak after 2017, but in 2017, that's how it was rolling.
wow.
that's interesting.
Right? I wonder what they are now.
Actually,
We got to look up these stats.
you don't want to go to the store to get toilet paper, dishwashing soap, or a phone case. I can maybe see getting off Amazon, but like tissue paper or toilet paper and dish soap, that
Yeah,
seems kind of
but
odd.
also think about it. But before recent history, the people who were ordering off of Amazon were kind of more so stay-at-home moms.
Oh yeah, I
I
guess
don't
it's
know
true
if I
too.
offend
And
anybody
it's
throwing that out there, but that's just facts. That's just facts, bro.
I kind of feel them in that situation too. I always feel a certain way going to the store and pulling up and rolling up with some toilet paper. Like it's kind of weird. Like it's kind of weird. Like I don't want people to know I wipe my ass.
See, that's that social acceptance stuff we talking about. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have that toughness, bro. I'll walk into the most crowded store and buy a big pack of the tampons, bro. I don't care. You know what I'm
Can't be
saying?
talking toughness when I'm holding Charmin.
Factuals.
Anyway, let's get up out of here. We just rambling now.
Yeah, I know. Well, the last thing I wanted to bring up real quick was unfortunately we learned of the untimely passing of MF Doom. Occurred, I guess it happened on Halloween, if I'm not mistaken, October 31st, 2020. Obviously, in my opinion, I know I brought this up before. I said that this is almost like Kobe Part 2. But then I do realize that he is not as known maybe as some other artists, but I guarantee that if you don't know who MF Doom is, you're probably your top 5. Everybody in your top 5 probably knows who MF Doom was. There was a lot of the music industry and people outside the music industry, even
Underground goat, man.
cosplayers.
He's an underground goat.
Yeah, like he's probably one of the people that like most people like, oh, if you listen to underground hip hop, he's probably one of the first people, the biggest names actually that people usually rattled off. MF Doom. I remember listening to, I don't even remember what the freaking tape was called. I think it was called Danger Doom. And I remember it was, I learned about it through Adult Swim. It was freaking, it was one of my favorite songs on there was called Sofa King. This was years ago, dude. I mean, like early 2000s years ago, so 2 decades ago. He's been around for a long time. I know he was like really close friends with like Jay Dilla and Madlib and a plethora of other artists and producers and things like that. And I know he contributed a lot. He kind of always hid, or not really necessarily hid, but he didn't really want people knowing all his personal life and business, so he wasn't like super keen on like social media.
I mean, think about it. The guy wore a mask like his whole rap career.
Yeah.
So somebody who just doesn't need to be seen like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he kind of has like his own style, like with rapping. It was like unorthodox almost. Like it's almost like sometimes he wasn't really even trying to rhyme. He was kind of saying stuff like, but on the beat though, like. He was just a very interesting rapper, and I mean, like if I could say anything about him right now, I just think that he was a hell of a talent, and I kind of wish we kind of gave him more flowers while he was still here. And I feel like that's like one of those things that people always say. And if you're listening to this right now and you don't know who MF Doom is, do yourself a favor, go on to whatever streaming service you have, and go listen to MF Doom. He has a shit ton of music, going all the way from like the 90s till now. So like he's I just found out the other day they had a West Side Doom. Him and West Side Gun have like 2 or 3 songs that they made together, bro. And I was like, damn, dude, this is fire. Like he will definitely be missed. The hip hop community will definitely miss him. My condolences to his family. I don't want to mess up his last name, but it's
just saying.
Okay, all right. It's Dumils or I think it's Dumas because they talked about similes being changed to Dumalies, or I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah, it's a sad day for hip hop fans for sure, especially for underground hip hop fans. He will be missed. Let's just do a quick moment of silence for him. We'll give it like 15 seconds. All right. And other than that, I guess that's about it, right, guys?
Do you think they buried it with the mask on?
Absolutely,
Oh
absolutely. I mean, the family probably would. I know he's got a mask probably on him somewhere. I don't know if it's on him. You know what I mean? But
probably buried in the casket with him. That'd be dope. Or etched into the casket.
That's hard.
That'd be super dope. But all right, Piglets, this has been another installment of Culture by the Uncultured. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Culture by the Uncultured. Remember, Piglets, Culture by the Uncultured is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube. We hope everyone out there is staying safe, and if you can't be safe, be deadly. Catch you guys next time. Peace out, suckers. Happy New Year, also.